Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Aaron's Harp. My name is Darby and I'll be your bartender, and today we're making a very fun riff on a riff of a very classic cocktail, the Widow's Kiss. All right, the Widow's Kiss. Actually, let me hold on one second. So I recorded this whole thing on Friday afternoon. It went great, video looked awesome, everything was cool, and I had no sound. And I tried going back to see if there was a problem. It was just, I never turned on the microphone. So I have these little, I don't even know if I can get it out of my pocket. It's kind of hooked in here. Anyway, I've got these little Rode microphones and they're great, but they don't tell you if they're turned on or not unless you look directly at it. And from where I am versus where my microphone is, I can't see it. So anyway, that was just a stupid oversight on my part. So anyway, I'm sorry that there wasn't a video this weekend. That was purely oversight and I didn't have time through the weekend because I've had a bunch of stuff going on. Anyway, enough with all that, enough with the excuses. Let's get into making a cocktail. We're making the Widow's Kiss, which is a riff on a riff of a very cool classic cocktail. So we've made in the past, we've made a Last Word, and I love the Last Word. It's one of my favorite gin cocktails. The Widow's Kiss is very similar as it uses the same kind of proportions but different ingredients. Now, the original Widow's Kiss, from everything that I could find, was first written down or recorded in a manner that we know of in 1895. Imbibe has kind of brought it back. It has kind of become a modern reinterpretation of the original Widow's Kiss, which was originally made with, I believe, two different kinds of apple brandy or something along those lines. That's what I could find. And I've made it that way. I've made it the way with apple brandy and I don't like it. It's too sweet for me. So I was doing a little digging and I found this riff on the Widow's Kiss, which is the one that I prefer, which is the one I'm going to show to you, which is actually from Angostura. Yes, that's right. The bitters company that makes Angostura bitters. Now, they have their version or their riff on the Widow's Kiss, which I think is really, really cool. And it uses two really fun ingredients that I love. So let's get into making this thing. Pretty simple. It does use a few oddball ingredients, but maybe you have these. If not, they might be kind of hard to track down, but we'll go through it anyway. You're gonna need cognac, brandy, something along those lines. I'm using, as always, this Ciroc VS, or very special French brandy. This is a French, quote unquote, French cocktail. The original one used almost all French ingredients, so I'm sticking with the theme. You're gonna need Benedictine. I'm using this DOM Benedictine from the Benedictine monks. It's very, very good. It's a little expensive and kind of hard to use in a lot of things, but it is delicious because this wonder herbal, kind of like fruity note thing going on. Love it, love it, love it. And then the one that's getting very difficult to get is Chartreuse. This specifically is green. I've seen both recipes, or I've seen both Chartreuses, green and yellow, used in the original recipe. I prefer green Chartreuse. It's also easier for me to get here locally. This may be difficult for you to track down. The monks that make this have said they're no longer gonna make in large quantities like they have been doing. They're going to refocus their efforts more internally on monastic practices and less on external capitalism, I guess. So anyway, you know, we can go down that whole rabbit hole another day. And then last but not least, you can use the classic yellow top Angostura bitters, right? And if you've ever wondered about why the label on these is so odd, look into it. It's actually really, really fascinating. It was a misprint. So that now you know. But for the version that we're doing today, and this is the way I've done it both ways. This is the way I like doing it. Angostura on their website has you using cocoa bitters. And that's what we're gonna do. This is super fun. I bought these on a whim because I thought it was fun. I've not really been able to use them for much. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, some cocoa bitters in today's cocktail. So let's get this thing made. 1.5 ounces of our brandy, 1/2 ounce of our Benedictine, 1/2 ounce of our green Chartreuse. And you could go up or down, kind of play with your ratios a little bit if you like, but this is the recipe I used, this is the recipe that I like, and this is the original ratios that they used. So I'm just gonna stick with it. It also is really good. And then we're gonna do 3 big dashes of our Angostura cocoa bitters. 3 big dashes. If you're using your little Japanese, fancy Japanese dasher bottles, it's 6. Now, grab my spoon, grab some ice. And so this specifically says that you should serve this in a Nick Nora glass. I don't have any Nick Nora glasses. Wow, these don't want to crack at all. It's a glass type that I've wanted to get for a long time, but they are very expensive and kind of honestly hard to find, with the exception of the internet. So I just have not invested in them yet. So I'm using 2 big glasses for this because we are going to serve this up. I think I may even actually have, whoops, one of my little baby coupes in here chilling. Let's see if I do. Sorry, I should have prepared this a little bit better, but I didn't think about it. I do have one of these awesome little baby coupes. These are fun. My wife got them for me. They're fun, and I keep a couple of them in the freezer for things like this, like the last word, that are kind of smaller portions, but you know, they look fun. So give this a good stir. If it's served up, try to always, you know, give it a little extra stir, give it a little extra mix. That way you can really chill and dilute as much as you're gonna get, because other than that, you're not gonna get a whole lot of chilling and or diluting. All right. The kitty wants to say hello. Hello, baby. Now, let's go ahead and pour this out. It's a beautiful golden honey color. It's actually lighter than the brandy that went into it because you're adding that Chartreuse, which is much lighter, much brighter. Now, unlike its cousin, the last word, this gets no garnish. It says even on their website, every recipe I found, nobody said anything about a garnish. So you could totally put a cocktail cherry in this if you so wanted, but I'm gonna go without. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Widow's Kiss, the cousin of the last word. Oh, it's beautiful. It's got like honey and herbs and earth, but it's still bright. It's still cheerful. The Chartreuse does come through. It's so wonderful. It's very bright. It's very herbal because you've got both of these, right? Your Benedictine and your Chartreuse both have very high herbal qualities, but they're both muted against kind of the raisin-y wine thing going on with this brandy. And then there's just a hint of sweetness from our cocoa bitters. And I think the cocoa bitters really do add something extra. If you wanted this to be more bitter, you could absolutely use regular Angostura bitters and it'd give you a nice like earthy bitter thing. But I love how bright, how light, how airy. Eternally sippable, right? That's how I would describe this. You could literally drink this and not want it to end because it's so fun. It's so simple. It's very bright and it's earth tones in a glass, but it's not heavy. It's like earth tones in the middle of summer. Everything's bright. It's very cheerful. I mean, it's cheer and sunshine breaking through a cloudy day. That's what it is. It is cheer and sunshine coming through on a cloudy day. Ladies and gentlemen, the Widow's Kiss, the cousin of the last word. This is a phenomenal cocktail, especially it's a perfect time of year. We're going into fall. This is like the last blast of summertime right there in a glass. It's bright, it's bracing, it's cold, it's a lot of alcohol, and it's so much fun, and it's delicious. It gets better and better. Every sip, you start picking up different things. The raisins definitely come through from the brandy. The Benedictine, it can be so overpowering, but in this, it's muted almost against the Chartreuse. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. I'm so sorry that I didn't get one up over the weekend. It was just an oversight, and things went from bad to worse, and I couldn't focus. So anyway, thank you all so much for bearing with me. Please remember to do all the YouTube things, like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see. I try to always keep new and fresh cocktails coming. I know I think I just did 2 brandy cocktails back to back. I'll do something different. Let me know what you guys would like to see, which alcohol you guys would like to see me throw into a glass and make something of. Thank you all so very much. Remember, don't drink and drive. Drink responsibly. Tip your bartenders. We'll see you in the next video. And until then, cheers. Oh yeah. Yep.